I think that could be a good like little bonus tip here at the end, and kind of really answer the question that we asked, like how to choose your keywords. Listen to your audience, like people coming into your store, people that ask you on the chat online. What is the what are the words that they use to ask for whatever it is that they're looking for? They might not look for, they might not ask you for, hey, do you have, what is your hearth display? People might not talk like that in your specific area. They might in other parts of the country, but in your very specific area, demographics are always different. And that's a whole nother video in and of itself. But what do they specifically say? Do they say fireplace? Do they say fire pit? Those are things to keep in mind when you're inserting these keywords at the beginning. I throw all of them in there. I kind of do like a mass of keywords at the beginning. And again, I scale back from there very quickly once data starts rolling in after a few days or a few weeks, depending on your budget. You'll be able to see like the clicks that you're starting to get, the interactions you're getting, and the keywords, and you'll start to just get that flow of that influx of information. Do you have anything else to add on to that, Dave? Because I know that was a game changer when I started doing that.
Absolutely. I'm going to actually share my screen for a moment, because I opened up an incognito window with Google, and I find this to be probably the most powerful tool for figuring out keywords. And I know we have all of these fancy tools, but the most basic way to see how people actually search is to use the auto fill in here. So you can tell where I live in California, but this is going to show up in an area by just typing in hot tub. Look at these searches. You can have hot tubs near me, but then we have movies. So we can see how being too broad picks up people looking for all of these different things. Or we can say hot tubs for sale, or we can say we know that the word jacuzzi, even though it's a brand, it's kind of like Kleenex. When people talk about a hot tub, a lot of times they say, do you have jacuzzis? And then they'll say another brand, like, do you have Caldera jacuzzis? But we can see a lot of searches this way, or swimming pools. Most of these are probably not actually people looking to buy a swimming pool. So we'd probably have to narrow that down.
Right. Like
I just keep trying in and looking at these and see which that's normally how I actually select keywords. Is I start
absolutely
Google search and I just type in weird combinations and let the autofill go.
Yeah, let the source do it for you. This is literally what you're working off of. So go to the source. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I find that it just look at just typing pool. We have pool fountain, pools for dogs, pool football, pool foam. Right. I mean, you get all these weird ones. You go, oh, that's why we don't want to be too broad.
Exactly, because you're paying for those clicks. Even if you don't want to, you're paying for that.
Yes, exactly. So it's finding out, well, which types of keywords, when I'm doing this, like in real life, I say, well, which of these has the most results that fit what we're trying to do? Right. And that's how I select it.
It's awesome.
And I put that in, and I find that it's almost, that's the most basic thing you can think of. So it isn't almost, it really is the most basic tool in the world. It's Google search. We use, go Google it. That's what we say. And in this case, it's actually the most powerful tool for starting out too, because if you really just stuck with nothing but what is showing up here and you use those as your keywords, you're going to have a successful set of keywords. Now, this doesn't go into what the ads say or anything like that, but the keywords at least are going to be targeting properly.
Right.
If you did nothing but base it off of this,
right,
of the Google search bar and what comes on. Now, there's a lot more to it. I know that's, I don't want to make it sound like there's no complications. There is, but on a basic level, you're going to have success just by doing that.
Absolutely. The only other thing I would want to add on at the end of that would be, don't let it scare you either. There are hundreds and probably thousands of ways that you can attack this and approach this. And there are all these different buttons and interfaces and everything. To get started though, it's not that complex. It's much more complex the deeper you get into it, just like anything else, like strategies, like I don't know, like euchre. On the surface is a simple game to play, but it gets very complex the more that you think about it, the more you get into it. So it's just like anything else. I think if people were to implement strategies and just basic principles like this at the very beginning, you're better than 95% of what we come across in our day-to-day whenever we take on new accounts, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. I would say the number one lack across the board, if it's just to be whittled down, is just lack of doing the basics when we see new accounts come in. It's not that they're not, sometimes they're trying to do the fancy things, but they're not doing the actual basic stuff right. Or they've never even done it at all. So they're trying to implement these fancy tricks and the top 10 tricks from whatever for 2021 and get ahead on 2022. They're trying to implement all of this stuff, but just the basic stuff hasn't even been done yet.
Right. Absolutely. Great. Awesome. I think that's a great spot to leave this off at. Again, I'm Zach.
And I am David.
And yeah, again, we represent the Get Smart Group. Links in the description for that. But if you did enjoy this video, we'll be making plenty more of them. Go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of future videos just like this one. And until next time.
Peace out.